Ordin's Thanksgiving Feast.
Once upon a time, in a vibrant forest filled with rustling leaves and babbling brooks, lived a little rabbit named Ordin. Ordin wasn't just any rabbit. He was the best chef in the whole forest. His carrot cakes were legendary. His berry tarts were divine. Ordin loved to cook, but even more, he loved to see his friends happy. The forest was home to two main communities: the quick, clever rabbits, who lived in cozy burrows under the sun-dappled hills, and the strong, steady badgers, who made their homes in sturdy dens near the ancient oak trees. For as long as anyone could remember, the rabbits and the badgers had lived separate lives. They didn't really have arguments, but they didn't really have conversations either. The rabbits thought the badgers were a bit too serious, and the badgers thought the rabbits were a bit too cheerful. Thanksgiving was approaching, and Ordin felt a little sad. He loved Thanksgiving. It was a time for sharing, for gratitude, and for bringing everyone you loved together. But how could he celebrate when his friends were practically strangers to each other? He looked out from his burrow, across the dividing meadow, and saw a group of young badger pups playing a quiet game of hide-and-seek. On his side, his own nephews and nieces were chasing butterflies, giggling loudly. "This simply won't do," Ordin declared to his reflection in the shiny cooking pot. "Thanksgiving is about family, and we are all forest family." And so, Ordin hatched a plan. A delicious, heartwarming, and perhaps a little bit ambitious plan. He decided he would cook the biggest, most scrumptious Thanksgiving feast the forest had ever seen, and he would invite everyone, rabbits and badgers alike. The very next morning, Ordin hopped out of his burrow, with a spring in his step and a twinkle in his eye. First, he gathered his ingredients. He knew badgers love root vegetables, so he dug up the biggest, sweetest carrots and parsnips from the farmer McGregor's garden. For the rabbits, he picked the juiciest berries and the crispiest lettuce from the sunniest patches of the forest. He even found some plump, wild cranberries near the stream. He spent hours meticulously preparing his kitchen. He polished his pots and pans until they gleamed, sharpened his favorite knife, and laid out all his spices. The scent of cinnamon and nutmeg already started to fill his cozy burrow. Ordin hummed happily as he chopped, diced, and stirred. He made a creamy root vegetable gravy, a fluffy berry stuffing, and a tangy cranberry sauce, and even little acorn-shaped cookies for dessert. He imagined the badgers' pleased grunts and the rabbits' delighted squeals. But as the day wore on, a tiny worry started to nibble at Ordin. What if they didn't come? What if the badgers stayed in their dens, and the rabbits stayed in their burrows? He sighed, a little discouraged. Just then, his friend, John the bear, lumbered by. "Something smells wonderful, Ordin. What's all this for?" Ordin explained his plan, his ears drooping slightly. John listened, then gave Ordin a warm berry hug. "Don't worry, little chef. I'll help you invite everyone. Everyone loves your cooking." And so, John, with his booming voice and friendly smile, went around the forest. He visited rabbit burrows, telling them about Ordin's magnificent feast, and how it was for everyone. The rabbits were surprised, but the idea of Ordin's food was too tempting to resist. Then, John bravely ventured into the badger territory. He approached Old Man Thistle, the leader of the badger clan, who was usually very gruff. "Good afternoon, Thistle. Ordin the rabbit's making a Thanksgiving feast, and he wants all of you to join. It's a chance to share stories and good food." Old Man Thistle grumbled. "Rabbits, huh? Too much hopping for my taste." But then he caught a whiff of the delicious scents wafting from Ordin's burrow. "Well," he said slowly, "Ordin's cooking is quite good." Word spread like wildfire. The rabbits whispered excitedly about the feast. The badgers, though still a little hesitant, were curious. Many of the younger badgers had never even spoken to a rabbit. Finally, Thanksgiving Day arrived. Ordin had set up a long, beautiful table in the clearing, between the rabbit hills and the badger dens. He decorated it with colorful autumn leaves and glowing gourds. The food was laid out, steaming and fragrant, looking absolutely spectacular. Ordin stood by the table, his chef's hat perched proudly on his head. Slowly, from one side, the rabbits started to appear, their noses twitching at the wonderful smells. From the other side, the badgers emerged from their dens. Ordin smiled. "Welcome, everyone. Please find a seat. There's plenty for all." The rabbits and badgers looked at each other. Slowly, they began to sit down. Sometimes a badger next to a rabbit, sometimes a rabbit next to a badger. At first, it was very quiet. Everyone ate, savoring Ordin's incredible cooking. Then a young badger pup named Rusty accidentally dropped his spoon. A little rabbit, Lily, sitting next to him, giggled. Rusty looked up surprised. Then a small smile spread across his face. "Oops," he said. Lily giggled again. Old Man Thistle, after his second helping of gravy, cleared his throat. "This food is excellent, Orton," he rumbled. Orton beamed. "Thank you, Thistle. I'm so glad you're enjoying it." A few more brave souls started to chat. A rabbit named Rosie asked a badger named Brock about his favorite digging spots. Brock, usually reserved, found himself describing the best places to find juicy worms. The rabbits, in turn, told the badgers about the fastest way to find the fresh clover in the springtime. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the clearing was filled with laughter and happy chatter. The rabbits learned that badgers weren't so serious after all. And the badgers discovered that the rabbits weren't just cheerful, but full of wonderful stories and joy. Ordin watched, his heart overflowing with happiness. This was what Thanksgiving was all about. It wasn't just about the delicious food, though that certainly helped. It was about opening your heart, reaching out to others, and discovering the simple connections you can make when you simply share a meal.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.